Hi everyone, it's Lady Kayla here, and today I'm going to talk about Let's Go Eevee. And I also want to note that the last time I played, first of all, I'm excited because I got a Mew, and the Mew only comes with the Pokeball, and Mew is my absolute favorite Pokemon. So I'm really happy that I got Mew. And one of the things that I was super surprised about was I was confused why I wasn't getting a bike. I was like, okay, you get a bike. That's what you do in Pokemon. And then I get an Arcanine from some NPC, and I take the Arcanine out to be next to me, and I'm on top of it. I'm riding a Pokemon, and I was so taken back. I was like, whoa, that's awesome. So I'm assuming you don't get a bike because you can ride your Pokemon. And I knew you could do surf in the past and ride on the water, but this is completely new to me. The only frustrating part was, I don't know if it's because my Pokemon was so big. Arcanine's kind of a fluffy, big Pokemon, and when you run and there's some kind of small obstacle, like you run too close to a cliff, or you try to make a turn too sharp, the Arcanine fades out. It's so when you go inside stores and stuff, you're no longer in your Arcanine. So I'm on and off my Arcanine even as I'm traveling around, and it didn't flow. It felt kind of annoying because I would imagine that you would stay on your Arcanine for the most part, but it just blinks in and out of being ridden. So that was alarming, and I just chose to walk. So maybe if I get a Pokemon that isn't so bulky, it'll work out better, but it just didn't look right to me. This setup is so much easier in my opinion, and in fact I think this whole game is kind of more easy than any of the other Pokemon games I've ever played, and that in my opinion kind of takes away from the game. You should always have a little bit of a challenge, but I feel like your Eevee or Pikachu, depending on what you get, is so OP that you could pretty much run the whole game with your Pokemon. Your Pokemon will be able to learn super powerful moves, just Eevee, that are just exclusive to Eevee, and when I say Eevee I mean and Pikachu as well. So I think that's awesome, but at the same time, make sure your character's super OP. There's lots of times where you have opportunities to get Eevee candies, and on top of that you can use other candies on your Eevee, so you can make a really incredibly powerful Pokemon that you can pretty much run through the whole game with. Obviously there's going to be some Pokemon that are a bit of a challenge because you don't have a move that is super effective, but for the most part I've never had that issue with Eevee. So a lot of the times I end up putting Eevee on the back burner so I can get my other Pokemon to get out there and have more of a challenge. The catching mechanics, the catching Pokemon mechanics, you have it's like Pokemon Go. That's one of the, it's like the old school Pokemon mixed with Pokemon Go meshed together. So in this one, you don't use your Pokemon to fight the wild Pokemon that you go in and catch. Instead, you I'm talking about the console, you just hold it and then throw the ball. And the console, it's super easy, and I tried it with the Pokeball joystick. I got over that so fast. I tried it with the Joy-Con stick, not much better, and so doing this game with the console is so much easier in my opinion and more nostalgic. I think this game was actually just intended as an entire nostalgic trip anyways, and not so much as a challenging, serious Pokemon game. I don't know. I miss using my Pokemon to catch other Pokemon. Like, there was something awesome about, you know, using sleep powder or trying not to make the Pokemon faint before you catch it kind of thing. I remember when Abra would disappear if you made any move or if you didn't catch it on the first try. I remember more rare Pokemon being a lot harder to catch, and so it's easier in that sense too. One of the new things that I'm absolutely all about is you can see the Pokemon in the tall grass. Whereas before, you would walk around the tall grass aimlessly and then random Pokemon will pop up. You don't know what Pokemon's going to pop up, but 90% of the time it's either going to be Zubat or Rattata. I don't know how to say it. I've been a Pokemon fan for like 25 years, and I don't know how to say the Rattata, that one. So yeah, 90% chance of having one of those pop up. But here you can avoid those Pokemon if you want to, because you can see them in the grass. They're walking around and it's super cute, and I freaking adore it. I feel like they tried to like still make the Pokemon like go towards you, that way you still end up with the want to use a repel if you need to, but at the same time I've been pretty good at dodging all those Pokemon. I don't know if it would be harder with the Joy-Con, and that's what they were expecting you to use because it's harder to move around with that thing, but on the console it's easier to get around. One of the things that I really liked about this game, and I think that they were focusing on more so than anything else really, was the fact that you're going to build a relationship with your Pokemon, and it's going to be kind of like Ash's relationship with Pikachu, and I think that's what they were going for, because Ash's relationship with Pikachu, it's pretty much the driving force between Ash's relationship with Pikachu is the driving force behind the entire premise of Pokemon. Ash is able to keep Pikachu by his side because Pikachu does the impossible just out of like sheer love for their owner. And here you have your Eevee who's always on you. Even if you choose to have another Pokemon walking with you, your Eevee's on your person. If you you have options where you can pet your Eevee and make it happy, feed your Eevee, and so you have this more like intimate connection and experience with your Pokemon. I think it's so adorable. And then the more connection you have with the Pokemon that you're with, and I've noticed this with my Mew as well, so I don't know if my Mew like has extra love for me because it's out, or if it was just a feature for Mew. But Eevee and the Pokemon that you have out, or at least Mew, will overcome certain like certain like effects like poison or paralysis just out of sheer love for you. So there are things that your Pokemon will do that are perks just because your Pokemon loves you. And I think that's adorable, and I think that's kind of just so pure of Pokemon, because you kind of get a feel for what Ash had with Pikachu. And there's just so many cute things about this. You pick up outfits along the way where you can dress up in different ways. I don't know if I caught all the outfits, I hope I did. I talked to every single person that I could possibly talk to, because you won't believe the things you get or the things you come across if you just take the time to walk around. And so you get dressed up. Eevee doesn't really get anything along the way, which I think is stupid, but later on you're able to buy Eevee some like accessories, bows, hats. It's adorable. Other things you can get from talking with NPCs include getting some Alola Pokemon, and I thought that was awesome. The Pokemon that you train or get from NPCs tend to have amazing stats, and that's another feature I like, is you get this option to judge your Pokemon, and when they pop up you will see their stats and what the stats are rated, and so it'll be like okay stats, good stats, amazing stats. So far as I can tell, amazing is the best stat because Eevee, Mew, and Pokemon that you get from other NPCs end up being pretty decent in their stats, if not amazing. I like how there's certain features that you get that you don't get until later on in the game. It's kind of like you have to unlock it, because honestly this game was or is such a breeze to walk through so far as I can tell. Fortunately, when I hit Lavender Town and like beyond, it's got a little more challenging, and I think thank goodness. But that's all I can think about when it comes to Pokemon and what I feel about it so far. If you guys have any questions that I did not answer here in this video and want to chat a little bit more about Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu, just leave them in the comments below and we can chat it up. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening to me. Bye.